All right, let's dive deep into the power of our own minds with this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Oh, yeah, this one by Joseph Murphy.
Yeah, and it's been revised by Ian McMahon.
It's a classic for sure. It's really a guide to understanding and harnessing that power.
And I think what's so cool about this book is that it takes these complex psychological concepts
hmm
and it just makes them so accessible. You know what I mean?
Totally. Plus, it gives you these really practical techniques that anyone can use.
Exactly. And don't we all want to understand how our thoughts shape our reality?
Of course.
Break free from those negative patterns
Absolutely.
and just reach our full potential. I mean, who doesn't want that, right?
Right. And the book starts by breaking down this concept of like the duality of mind.
Okay.
We have two levels of mind, the conscious and the subconscious.
So the conscious mind is the part of us we're aware of,
Right.
that thinking, reasoning, decision-making part of us.
Exactly. It's like the watchman at the gate, as Murphy calls it.
I like that.
Yeah. And then the subconscious mind, that's like the engine room that's working behind the scenes.
Okay.
This is where like all our habits, beliefs, and those automatic reactions that we have come from.
Uh-huh.
And it's so sensitive to suggestion,
Okay.
meaning it doesn't analyze or reason like the conscious mind does. It just acts on whatever the conscious mind is feeding it.
So we can consciously influence our subconscious mind.
Exactly. And the implications of that are just massive.
Wow. So think about this. You can literally command your subconscious mind to help you overcome fears or limitations.
Right.
Like the story of Enrico Caruso, the famous opera singer.
Oh, yeah, I love that story.
He struggled so much with stage fright, but he learned to just command his subconscious.
Yeah.
Like telling it, be still, be quiet, I am in control.
It's pretty incredible.
Right.
And it worked. It shows how we can use our conscious mind to influence our subconscious.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. But Murphy also shares this really cautionary tale. It's about this man who always used to say that he would give his right arm to see his daughter cured of this illness.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was a really debilitating illness.
Mm.
But then, tragically, he ended up losing his arm in an accident.
It's a stark reminder that your subconscious, it doesn't differentiate between positive and negative thoughts. It just acts on everything you feed it.
That's a scary thought.
It is. So it's so important to be mindful of the language you use, even casually, because your words have power.
Absolutely.
But on a brighter note, Murphy also tells this amazing story of a woman who cured her amnesia through autosuggestion.
Really?
Yeah, she just kept repeating these phrases like, my memory is perfect and I remember everything clearly.
Wow.
And gradually her memory returned.
That is amazing.
It really is. It's a testament to the power of consistently feeding the subconscious positive suggestions.
Until they become reality.
Right. But he also looks at the darker side of suggestion. Like there's this story about a man who died because he totally believed a fortune teller's prediction about when he would die.
No way.
Yeah. And he became so fixated on it that his subconscious just kind of made it happen.
It's like the power of belief really impacts our reality.
It does, even if the belief isn't based on truth.
These stories, they can be unsettling. But Murphy says that we can harness this power of the subconscious for good, especially for healing.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where it gets truly mind-blowing. Murphy shares all these examples of healing, things you might not believe until you really grasp the principles behind them.
Like what?
Well, he describes a minister who heals this woman just by saying, I am in health. And then there's this guy who cured his skin cancer with a simple prayer.
Wow.
Oh, and there's a story about a paralyzed man who regains his ability to walk by just vividly imagining himself walking.
That's amazing. So the subconscious mind can't distinguish between reality and vivid imagination.
It seems that way. Like if you can convince your subconscious that you're healthy, it might actually trigger real healing.
That defies our conventional understanding of medicine.
Right. It really makes you think.
So how can we actually tap into this incredible power?
Well, luckily, Murphy outlines some really practical techniques. And you know what? They're surprisingly simple.
Okay, I like simple. So what are they?
One of the key ones is visualization. Just imagine your desire as if it's already real, engaging all your senses. It's like you're creating this mental blueprint for your subconscious to follow.
I can see how that would work.
Yeah. And another one is the thank you technique. It's all about cultivating a feeling of gratitude, like even before you see what you're praying for actually happening.
Oh, you're
It's a powerful way to shift your mindset to one of already possessing what you want.
So you're signaling to your subconscious that it's already a reality.
Exactly.
I like that. Are there any other techniques?
Yeah, there's also the sleeping technique, which is all about impressing your desires on your subconscious right before you go to sleep.
Oh, why before bed?
Because that's when your conscious mind is less active and the subconscious is more receptive.
That makes sense.
These techniques may sound simple, but they hold so much power.
So how can we apply this power to different areas of our lives?
Well, Murphy goes into specific applications, starting with wealth. He stresses the importance of having a wealth consciousness.
What does that mean exactly?
It's not just about wanting money, it's about believing that you're worthy of abundance and believing that it's already on its way to you.
That's a really interesting distinction.
He shares this story about a young man who really needed money for medical school. He visualized receiving a check for the exact amount he needed.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, a distant relative he didn't even know left him that exact amount in her will.
Wow.
It's a powerful example of how visualizing a specific outcome with that deep inner belief can attract what you want.
And it goes beyond material wealth, right?
Mhm.
I mean, Murphy's definition of success is broader than that. It's more about living in alignment with your passions and benefiting humanity.
Absolutely. He gives examples of people achieving success by trusting their subconscious, like an actor who visualized seeing his name in lights, and a dramacist who created her dream store in her mind. Their success, it wasn't luck.
Right.
It was aligning their desires with the power of their subconscious.
So that alignment is really key.
Yes. He also talks about attracting the ideal partner
Okay, how did you do that?
by building a clear picture of the qualities you desire in your mind. He shares this woman, Sheila's, story.
Okay, what happened with her?
She kept attracting partners who weren't right for her,
Uh-huh.
and she realized it was because subconsciously she was attracting those kinds of people. But by changing her inner picture, she was able to attract a really loving and supportive relationship.
It's like our inner world really shapes our outer reality.
Exactly. He also explores happiness.
Mm.
And for Murphy, it's all about the internal source of happiness.
Not chasing external things.
Right. And he tells this story about an executive who found peace by changing how he thought about his colleagues.
What do you mean?
He realized his negativity towards them was affecting his own happiness. So he chose to see the good in them and send out goodwill.
Did it work?
Yeah, his whole work environment changed, and he felt happier too. It's a great reminder that happiness comes from within.
Definitely.
Another key theme is forgiveness.
Okay.
Murphy emphasizes how important it is to let go of guilt and resentment, both for ourselves and for others.
That can be tough.
It can. But he shares the story about Harriet. She was consumed with guilt over something from her past.
Oh, no.
She believed she'd hurt her brother. But once she understood forgiveness and consciously chose to let go, she found peace. Then Murphy gets into breaking bad habits.
Like addiction.
Exactly. He explains how we can use the subconscious to overcome those things.
You okay?
And he uses Bob's story.
Who's Bob?
Bob was an alcoholic who felt totally trapped. He didn't believe he could stop drinking.
I see.
But by understanding his subconscious and choosing to replace his desire for alcohol with a desire for sobriety, he was able to break free and turn his life around.
Wow, so even deeply ingrained habits can be changed.
Yes, with conscious effort and the power of the subconscious.
Incredible. Murphy also talks about fear.
Right. He makes a distinction between normal fear, like what keeps us safe, and then this abnormal fear that can paralyze us.
Okay.
And he has examples of people overcoming phobias by focusing on the opposite of what they're afraid of.
So like someone who's afraid of elevators would imagine themselves riding one calmly.
Exactly. Our subconscious wants what's best for us, even when we're caught up in fear.
Hmm.
If we can focus on what we want and trust in our subconscious, we can overcome anything.
Such a powerful message. It's like we have so much control over our lives.
We really do.
But what about aging? Can the subconscious help with that too?
That's what we'll explore next time. Yeah, that's one of the most fascinating parts, like how to stay young in spirit.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we've covered a lot. Wealth, success, relationships, happiness, forgiveness, like even overcoming fears.
Right?
But staying young, that feels different. Isn't that more about like our bodies and biology, not our minds?
Well, Murphy has this really interesting perspective on aging. He sees it as a process of growth, and
Yeah.
wisdom, not decline.
Okay.
And he says that how we think and what we believe about aging actually shapes how we experience it.
So it's not like denying that our bodies change. It's more about shifting our mindset to one of vitality and growth.
Exactly. He shares these really inspiring stories about people who achieved amazing things later in life.
Like who?
Well, like Cato. He was this Roman expatriate who actually learned Greek when he was 80.
Wow.
And there's Ernestine Schumann-Heink, this amazing singer. She reached her peak after becoming a
It's
grandmother.
incredible.
Right. He even talks about Socrates, like learning to play musical instruments at 80. It's pretty amazing.
That really shows that we can keep learning and growing no matter how old we are.
Yeah. But it feels like our society often pushes older people aside, like they're not important anymore.
And yet they have so much wisdom and experience.
Right. Murphy really challenges that. He believes senior citizens have so much to offer. And he encourages us to embrace that wisdom that comes with age, to keep sharing our talents.
I love that.
He uses this analogy of a ladder. Each stage of life, like graduating, building a career, even retiring, it's all another step up.
Not down.
Exactly.
That's a really beautiful way to think about aging, like it's a journey, an upward journey. But what does he suggest we actually do to stay young in spirit?
He talks a lot about staying mentally and spiritually engaged.
Okay.
Like cultivating curiosity, trying new things, never stop learning new things.
Makes sense.
But it's also about those simpler things, like enjoying simple things, appreciating beauty, and connecting with others.
Yeah, like rediscovering that childlike sense of wonder.
Exactly, because our true selves are actually ageless.
What do you mean?
Our spirits don't age, even though our bodies do. So it's about aligning with that part of ourselves, the part that's full of potential.
And letting go of those fears and limiting beliefs we have about aging.
Yeah, because if we believe it's all downhill from here, that's probably what we'll experience. But if we embrace it as a time of growth and fulfillment, we create something totally different.
So we have a lot more power than we realize. At any age.
We really do. It's not about desperately trying to be young forever. It's about embracing aging as a beautiful part of life.
And realizing that our potential for joy and creativity, it doesn't go away with time, it just keeps growing.
Right. It's about embracing the richness of life at every stage, knowing that the best is yet to come.
I like that. So with that, I think we can start wrapping up this deep dive into the power of the subconscious mind. Wow, this deep dive has been eye-opening. Like we've discovered all these new tools, not just for like healing or attracting success, but for actually shaping our reality.
That's what I love about this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It gives us this framework to understand our own potential.
And it's not about magic or just wishing for things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about understanding how our minds work and using that knowledge in practical ways.
Yeah, and the book is packed with stories about real people who have used these techniques to do some pretty incredible things.
Overcoming challenges and making their dreams happen.
Exactly.
So what's the big takeaway here? What have we learned? Well, I think we've learned that we have way more power within us than we realize.
Absolutely. That subconscious mind is a force.
And we can tap into it to achieve anything we set our minds to.
But it all starts with recognizing we have both a conscious and a subconscious mind.
And understanding the power of suggestion.
Because what we consistently tell our subconscious, that's what becomes our reality.
We've seen how this power can be used for so many things.
From healing and attracting wealth to finding love and overcoming fear.
And even staying young in spirit as we age.
The key is to align what we consciously want with the power of our subconscious mind.
And to truly believe that we can achieve our dreams.
Because you can.
So now I'm curious, what will you choose to create with the power of your own subconscious mind? What are you going to focus on?
I hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore that question.
And if you want to learn even more, I highly recommend checking out the book yourself.
There's so much more to discover.
Well, that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, happy diving.
You got this,